It's mid-July and the sun feels relentless. The air shimmers above the pavement and every step outside feels like walking into an oven. Across the country, people are searching for shade, cranking up their air conditioners and wondering just how hot it's going to get. That's because much of the country is sweltering under what meteorologists call a heat dome, a phenomenon that can turn entire regions into virtual pressure cookers for days or even weeks at a time. You've probably heard the term on the news or seen it scrolling across your weather app, but what does it actually mean? Why does it matter? And how does it affect our daily lives? Imagine a giant invisible lid pressing down on the atmosphere, trapping heat beneath it, just like a pot with a tight-fitting lid trapping steam on the stove. The heat can't escape, so it builds and builds, making everything underneath hotter and more uncomfortable by the hour. Scientifically, a heat dome is a massive high-pressure system that parks itself over a region. This high pressure pushes air downward, compressing it and causing it to heat up even more. At the same time, it acts like a barrier, blocking cooler air masses from moving in and providing relief. The result? Not just a single hot afternoon, but a stretch of days, or sometimes weeks, where the heat keeps intensifying. The sun blazes down, the nights offer little relief, and the temperature just keeps climbing. This isn't your average summer heat wave. A heat dome is like a suffocating blanket that can cover multiple states at once, putting millions of people at risk. Vulnerable groups like the elderly, children, and those without access to air conditioning are especially affected. Under a heat dome, the air stagnates. There's little wind, the skies stay stubbornly clear, and the relentless sun keeps baking the ground. The heat doesn't just linger, it intensifies day after day. The impacts are real and far-reaching. Hospitals see more cases of heat exhaustion and dehydration. Roads can buckle, power grids are strained, and daily routines become a struggle as people try to stay cool and safe. This current heat dome stretches from the Great Plains all the way to the East Coast, affecting friends, family, and communities across the map. It's not just a local event, it's a regional crisis that connects us all. It's a powerful reminder of how interconnected our weather systems are. What happens in one part of the world can ripple out, affecting weather patterns and people far beyond the immediate area. So the next time you hear the term heat dome, think of it as nature's thermostat stuck on high, an extreme weather event that challenges us to adapt, stay safe, and look out for one another. Let's talk about where this heat dome is packing the biggest punch. The South, Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, Arkansas, has been baking with temperatures soaring past 100 degrees Fahrenheit. The Midwest is next, with the Ohio Valley and Great Lakes facing oppressive heat and humidity. Even the East Coast isn't spared, as cities from DC to New York brace for multi-day heat waves. Urban areas are especially vulnerable due to the urban heat island effect, keeping cities hotter, especially at night. Nearly 245 million people are under heat alerts, an astonishing number. This isn't a quick burst, it's a slow-moving, persistent event. Remember, this is a marathon, not a sprint. When you step outside on a hot day, the first thing you might notice is the number on the thermometer. But that number only tells half the story. There's much more to how we actually experience heat. Humidity is the other culprit, and it plays a huge role in how hot it really feels. When the air is thick with moisture, your body's natural cooling system, sweating, doesn't work as efficiently. That's where the feels-like temperature, also known as the heat index, comes in. It's a calculation that combines the actual air temperature with the humidity level to show how your body actually experiences the weather. This number is often much higher than what the thermometer says, especially on muggy days. When humidity is high, sweat can't evaporate as quickly from your skin. This slows down your body's ability to cool itself, making you feel much hotter and more uncomfortable than the air temperature alone would suggest. That's why a 90 degrees Fahrenheit day in Florida, where the air is humid and heavy, can feel far more oppressive than a 95 degrees Fahrenheit day in the dry heat of Arizona. In dry climates, sweat evaporates quickly, helping your body cool down. But in humid places, the heat just lingers, sticking to your skin. Dew points in the upper 70s and 80s mean the air is saturated with moisture, making it feel thick and tropical. When dew points are this high, the heat index can soar to 105–110 degrees Fahrenheit or even higher, creating dangerous conditions for anyone spending time outdoors. At these extreme levels, your body struggles to keep up. The risk of heat exhaustion, heat stroke, and other heat-related illnesses skyrockets, especially for vulnerable groups like children, the elderly, and those with health conditions. And it's not just the daytime heat that's a problem. Nights often offer little relief. Temperatures can stay in the upper 70s or 80s, and the humidity keeps the air feeling stifling. Without a break, your body never gets a chance to recover. Over several days of relentless heat, the strain on your system builds. You wake up already feeling tired and overheated, and each day without a cool down makes it harder for your body to cope. This is why heat waves like this are so dangerous. They don't just bring high temperatures, they bring a constant, unyielding stress on your body and your health. It's not just the daytime highs, it's the relentless, round-the-clock heat and humidity that make these events so hazardous. Understanding the feels-like temperature can help you stay safe and take the right precautions during extreme heat. Let's zoom in on some major cities under this relentless heat dome, which is gripping much of the country and pushing temperatures to record-breaking highs. Across the United States, millions are feeling the effects of this extreme weather event, and local forecasts are more important than ever. In Denver, the mercury is soaring to 100 degrees Fahrenheit, an unusually high temperature for a city known for its mile-high elevation and typically cooler, drier air. This rare heat is a clear sign of just how widespread and intense this event has become, affecting even places that usually escape the worst of summer's extremes. Residents are flocking to parks and shaded areas, trying to find relief wherever they can. Meanwhile, Chicago is bracing for highs near 96 degrees Fahrenheit, but it's not just the temperature that's a concern. The humidity is making it feel even hotter, with the heat index expected to climb above 105 degrees Fahrenheit. That means the air feels thick and oppressive, making outdoor activities risky and uncomfortable for everyone, especially vulnerable groups like children and the elderly. Many older buildings in Chicago and other cities lack modern air conditioning, leaving residents at greater risk. In response, the city is opening cooling centers to provide safe, air-conditioned spaces for those who need them most. It's crucial to know where your nearest cooling center is located and to check in on neighbors who might need help getting there. In Washington, D.C., the heat is even more intense. With humidity and the city's concrete landscape amplifying the temperature, it will feel like a staggering 110 degrees Fahrenheit. The National Mall and city streets are sweltering, and people are resorting to umbrellas in any available shade to protect themselves from the sun's relentless rays. New York City is also in for a scorcher. The urban heat island effect, caused by all the concrete, asphalt, and tall buildings, traps heat, making some neighborhoods several degrees hotter than others. Residents are turning to fans, cold drinks, and creative ways to stay cool, but the heat can be especially tough for those living in older apartments without reliable air conditioning. With so many people relying on air conditioning to stay safe, the city's energy grid is under tremendous strain. Utility workers are on high alert, monitoring for outages as millions of air conditioners run around the clock. Power failures during a heat wave can quickly become life-threatening, so officials are urging everyone to conserve energy when possible. This is the kind of heat that can turn deadly, especially in dense urban areas where the temperature can stay dangerously high even after sunset. Emergency medical teams are already responding to cases of heat exhaustion and heat stroke, and city officials are urging everyone to take extra precautions. To stay safe, remember to drink plenty of water, seek out shade whenever possible, and pay attention to public service announcements about cooling centers and heat advisories. If you have to be outside, take frequent breaks and avoid strenuous activity during the hottest parts of the day. Extreme heat in the city is more than just uncomfortable, it's a real and growing danger. By staying informed, looking out for one another, and taking these forecasts seriously, we can help protect ourselves and our communities from the worst impacts of this historic heat wave. Extreme heat is the deadliest weather hazard in the U.S., more than hurricanes or tornadoes. Heat exhaustion can sneak up. Heavy sweating, dizziness, nausea, and fatigue are warning signs. If ignored, it can escalate to heat stroke, a life-threatening emergency. Vulnerable groups include young children, older adults, people with chronic illnesses, and those without AC. Outdoor workers and athletes are also at higher risk. Lack of air conditioning is a major danger, especially in low-income communities. Public cooling centers and checking on neighbors aren't just kind. They save lives. Don't underestimate the risks of extreme heat. Now let's talk solutions. Hydration is key. Drink water regularly, even if you're not thirsty. Avoid sugary drinks, caffeine, and alcohol. Limit outdoor activity during peak heat, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and seek shade if you must be outside. Wear lightweight, light-colored clothing, a wide-brimmed hat, and sunglasses. If you don't have AC, spend time in public places like libraries or malls, or use community cooling centers. Take cool showers or baths to lower your body temperature. Fans help, but aren't enough when it's extremely hot. Know the signs of heat illness and never leave children or pets in cars. Watch out for vulnerable family, friends, and neighbors. Smart, simple steps can keep you safe. Heat safety is a community responsibility. Check on elderly neighbors, families with young kids, and those with health issues. A quick call or visit can be a lifeline. Offer help, groceries, a cool place to stay, or just a friendly check-in. Pets need protection too: fresh water, shade, and never walking on hot pavement. City officials must ensure cooling centers are open and accessible. Employers should protect outdoor workers with breaks and shade. We all play a part in keeping our community safe. Together we can get through this. Let's step back. Why are these heat domes getting worse? The answer: climate change. Summers in the US are now about 2.4 degrees Fahrenheit hotter than 50 years ago, making extreme heat waves more likely and intense. This year's heat wave was at least 3 times more likely due to global warming. Early season heat waves are especially dangerous, catching people off guard. Cities like Boston and Newark broke all-time June heat records this year. This is our new reality: more frequent, more intense heat events. We need to adapt, plant more trees, use cooler building materials, and take heat safety seriously. Being prepared is our best defense. The weather is changing, and so must we. To recap, heat domes are serious, and this one is affecting millions. Stay hydrated, stay cool, and stay informed. Preparation is everything. Know your local forecast and where to find relief. Don't underestimate the danger, even if you're young and healthy. Take breaks, listen to your body, and avoid unnecessary risks. Community matters. Check on neighbors and help those most at risk. These events remind us we share the same atmosphere and responsibility. A little caution and compassion go a long way. We'll keep you updated. Stay safe, stay cool, and take care of each other. Together, we'll get through this heat wave.